Hello, how are you? I am so excited to have you here with me for the fourth episode of Scrapped. My name is Candice Anderson, and I am in Hiram, Utah. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, let me explain Scrapped a little bit to you. I got together with three of my friends, Linda, Rachel, and Amelia, and we wanted to share some ideas on memory keeping. Instead of having to do every episode by ourselves, we decided each week a different person was going to share some of their scrapbooking and memory keeping ideas. So this week is my week. This is our first month. So hopefully you've had a chance to catch their episodes. If not, just follow the links that I will have in the description or on my blog, my Facebook. There's lots of places you'll be able to check those out. I've been sharing them on my Facebook if you do follow me there. Stampinwithcandice.com is where you can find me. On my blog, Stampin' with Candice on Facebook, Stamper Candy on Instagram. You can find me all over the place, hopefully. But thanks again for joining tonight. And it's been really fun to watch these episodes and see the different ideas that each of us have to share and our different ways that we like to memory keep. So I'm going to be sharing my project with you tonight, and I hope you learn something and that you enjoy it. So I am going to switch cameras here real quick, just so you're aware. I am still kind of new to this. If you watch my old YouTube videos, they are all basically just my hands. So I've been learning how to use some streaming ones, and so hopefully this works so you can switch and see me, but also you can see what I'm doing. So we're going to switch, and I'm going to show you what we're starting off with. So couple of things. This theme the theme this month, make sure this is recording. Yes, it is. Um, the theme for this month is family. And I know it is April, but um, my family, I have five children, and the oldest is 29, the youngest is 13. So I have four boys, and my youngest is a girl. And so I have three of them that still live at home with me, but two of them that are married, and I have two grandkids. And those grandkids and that family, they do not live close, but they were home for Christmas. So that's why I chose to do a Christmas scrapbook page. And I want to show you what I'm using here. Um, I want to show you how you can combine a bunch of different sets. This is one thing I love about scrapbooking. Card making, a lot of times I will mix them up, but I tend to keep with one set a lot of times when I'm making cards, but scrapbooking, anything goes a lot of times. I do have a lot of old sets, and you might see me pull things out. In fact, I'm using quite a few on the last chance. I think they're still there, but not sure. So I am using Merriest of Trees. That's these trees that I'm doing here, and the matching dies. And there is a little tag die that I've used in that one as well. And then I've used the decorative trees. This one was supposed to go away, and then they ended up keeping it, just discontinuing the dies that match. But I'm actually using um, these little, I don't know, just decorations here. And I'm going to show you what I did with that. I just stamped it multiple times across a piece of white. So I've just cut a 12 by 12 piece and cut it, I think it's 1 inch, and stamped it across here to create a fun little pattern across my page. I am also using the Humble Home set, and I want to show you how I did this, this little accent piece that I'm going to be on here. If you look, you can see this is kind of a fun, different look and dimensions to this, the bricks here. So originally when I stamped it in all red, and I did not like that. So I'm going to show you what I actually did. So I took the crumb cake and I stamped it in the crumb cake first. Then I took the real red and I just used a sponge dauber to kind of dab just a little bit, very lightly, kind of around on the stamp. And then when you stamp it, show you, you get that kind of multicolor dimension going on your stamp. So then you can stamp the, we'll close this. I don't want to get ink all over the place. You can stamp the roof line on here. I just line it up so it's just over the edge there. And then there's a punch that you can punch that out with. So that's how I made that little embellishment that I'm going to add to it. So to finish this little embellishment, I just have some of our white baker's twine. Usually I just kind of wrap it around my fingers a little bit. I'm going to go a little bit bigger. Do 3 fingers. I like to have like one end going each direction, and then I'm just going to kind of pinch it. And where did my, I forgot to grab out my mini glue dots. We're going to grab out some mini glue dots. And I'm just going to press it right in the center on that. And then I'm going to put it right in the center here. And we'll grab out some of our little baby dimensionals and put one on each side here. And I've just stamped the heart in, I think I have Granny Apple Green and Garden Green on here, what I've stamped with, but you can still see that tree back behind it. So just a fun little embellishment that you can add to that. The other one I did use is Greeting of the Seasons. And what I used that for is I cut out that tag, and then I've used that may your holiday season be filled with warmth and cheerful celebration. I thought that fit very appropriately. And then I've cut another one just to highlight. This is Lemon Lime Twist that I have on there. So I've combined a lot of different things. This right here is the take a bow, take a bow. I don't know which one it is, how to pronounce it, but that designer paper, it's a 6x6. So I haven't even cut it, just used the 6x6 just like that. I did use this as kind of a color inspiration, plus the pictures that we used. One of the last things I did use is the mini corrugated embossing folder, and I ran it through this way. So this is the new paper that is the double-sided paper. Um, it's got 2 different colors, but it also has a white core, and it's thinner. So when you run it through, it can break a little bit. I did put some tape on the back here to keep it from breaking, but I want to show you how I got this effect. I don't know if you can see, but I have the white coming through, and part of that is where it did just break through, but I'm going to show you on this other piece here. You can see I've started to do it, but that's what it normally would look like. But because it has that white center, you can take some sandpaper and simply just run your paper over, or your sandpaper over the paper. And you can do it as much or as little as you want, and make those areas where I have embossed it. Oh, don't run away on me. Pop up. So it's kind of just a fun way to add some additional texture to your thing. I don't use a lot of texture or embellishments. I use some. I like to add a little bit of ribbon, but when I'm putting it in a scrapbook page, it is, I don't want it too terribly thick. So one of the other things I did use is the alphabet a la mode dies, and I have cut out the family, and I just want to show you how I did this here. So I will tell you a trick. I forgot to do it on these ones, but if you use the adhesive sheets and you just cut some of this and put it on your paper before you cut it out, then you can just take the sticky off. I'm going to have to glue these down because I forgot to do it. I was too excited. But I'm going to show you how I line these up. So I use this masking paper, and it is designed to kind of stick and then come back off because you can do masking with it. And so I have my 2024, and you can use, I'm using my glass plate. You can use, I'm going to move this up here so you can see it. You could use just a ruler. You could use a piece of paper or a grid sheet. We have our stamping papers that you can use, any of those things. But I'm just using the bottom here, the lines. That's kind of dirty right there. Going to use the lines here to line it up and get it nice and straight, maybe. And then I'm going to put that masking across it, and then I can put it anywhere I want on my thing. And even though I have to put some glue on it, it will make it much easier to put the glue and lay it down. I'll show you my second page. So I'm a huge fan of the double page layout. So we're going to kind of put this together. One last thing I was going to show you here really quick. You'll notice that I have photo 5 by 7. So I don't always have my photos to go on my page when I'm designing it, especially my newer photos. Older photos, yes, they're all printed, but my newer photos, we don't have them printed. And so I actually, a lot of times will take them, and I'm going to show you what I've done. Kind of ignore the smiley faces over some of these. My son and his kids, because they're little, they don't like to have their kids out there. And so, but what I've done is I've put the pictures on, and then I print it on an 8.5 by 11, and then I cut them out. So this is, I have them in color, but I printed it in black and white just to make sure it was all going to work before I had them printed in color. So that's what I do a lot of times, and I'll show you the second page here in a second. I'm going to pull this out and move this over here so you can see what I'm doing. So this is my second page. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of the double page layout. I like them to coordinate, but they don't have to be exactly the same. So what I have going on here is I have this garden green background instead going on the red, and we're going to put this right along here. So I will be attaching that. And then I've got my my photos. So one thing I do a lot of times when I am creating a page is I have a bunch of these just cut out, all kinds of different sizes. In fact, originally I had a 4 by 6 photo here, and I decided I wanted a little bit bigger photo because this is our main picture of the whole family, and I wanted it larger and just a focal point. But then I wanted to highlight some of the other smaller pictures of my husband and I with our grandkids, and some of the other photos of our kids. In fact, this one here, I can show you this one. So this one will go right here. And this is my kids that are still at home, along with our dog. This one I actually ended up switching it out. Instead of a 3 by 3 photo, it is a 3 by 6, nice tall photo that is going to go here. but this lines up with this. So when I go to put this one together, because this one has to fit within these pictures here, I will actually glue all of this one down, and then I will come over to this one and glue this one down, and these will fit right here. And so then the little trees will go here with this. So another little tip, if you don't have your pictures printed out and you want something to go over the top, a lot of times here I will be using uh, even though I do have them printed out, a lot of times I still do this. I will use a Stampin' Dimensional, and sometimes I won't even take the bottom off of it. I'll just put it there so it's popping up off of the page, but it's not actually stuck to the photo. So it allows me to have a little bit more flexibility there. So then I've got these two here that I will be adding. So I'll have my 2024 that we're going to add right here. And this will be going right here. So I will get this all done and show you here in a minute. I'm going to pause for a minute, get this all together, and then you'll be able to kind of see the finished page. So I'm going to just pause here for a second, maybe. All right, so I'm back and I've got the elements applied to everything here. Gone ahead and added the pictures, just covered up those ones that we needed to cover up out of respect for my children. Totally get that, not wanting to have the little ones there. So you'll notice I still have one little piece here that says 3x5 photo. Probably not going to be a photo. Haven't 100% decided where I want this to be, and part of it will depend on exactly how much I add to it, but it will be for my journaling. And sometimes I do actually handwrite it. Sometimes I type it because I probably have a lot I want to say. I'm going to type something up. One thing that I always recommend, make sure that you're putting names. I know this is a family Christmas, and anybody who would look at this right now in our current family, of course, would know who's in these pictures. But as kids get older, as we get older, and somebody were to look back on this, maybe it's my great great grandkids, and they want to know who's in those pictures, it's good to have those names. So I highly recommend that. Sometimes I'll put a little thing here with some names on it. Sometimes I'll just put it in the description. One thing I wanted to show you here, I'm going to pull this over here so you can see it a little bit better, but I still have that sticky on there. So I've applied it, and then you can just see how easy that comes up and off. Again, I could do something, I might do something about that size. This just kind of helps me figure out where I want it to be, what I want to do as far as sharing um, some of that on there. One last thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to grab some of these little green embellishments here, and I'm just going to add just a little bit. I like some bling on here. I did want to point out one thing. This right here, this ribbon is a white ribbon. I used a marker and just colored it because I wanted it green, and I didn't have any green ribbon. I did the same thing with the red. The red and white is striped, but the plain red was white ribbon that I just added to it. We're just going to add a few little embellishments. Didn't want the whole thing there. And we'll grab some and add a little bit over here as well. Maybe that wants to stick to my take your pick tool. I think we're going to add. Sometimes it likes to work for me. Add a couple up in here. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. And we'll finish it off with a few down here. And then we have our finished page. Hopefully you enjoyed that and learned something a little new. I'm going to switch back this way here. Again, my name is Candice. I will have more information on my blog, as well as you can follow me on Facebook. You can follow me on Instagram, Stamper Candy, stampinwithcandice.com. You can find me all over the place, hopefully, and follow my friends. I will put their links for their videos as well. Join us next month. We'll have a new theme. And next month, we do have a fifth week, so we will have a little bit of a surprise. Also, be watching. We are going to start a Facebook group if you want to join that, where you can share your own inspiration and stuff like that. We'll be getting that set up soon, and invite you to share and like that. So, thanks again for joining, and I hope you enjoyed the fourth episode of Scrapped. Have a wonderful day.